Happy Sore Saturday, my Sparrows. Happy Sore Saturday to ya, which is also the last day of the Be Fabulous Self-Care Challenge. Today is June 30, 2018, the last day of the Self-Care Challenge. I hope you've been out showing yourself some form of love and care. And I know it's been a struggle for some of you, and I had to kind of push myself a little bit as well, quite a few days this month. However, got through it. Today is it. As far as today, I haven't even done my self-care just yet. Lies. Yes, I did. I took a nap today. I haven't even turned on my computer today. I've been on my phone a little, so the computer hasn't come on. I have not done any work today, but then today is so not over. It's not over. So just know the computer will come on. So to date, right now, up to this moment in time, my love and care has been taking a nap, watched a little TV, comedy of course, because I find so much joy and laughter. So I watched some comedies, got my laugh on, and kind of flipped through some books, that prompts me to push myself to greater, not just me, but my business as well. So I have done some readings today. It's been a ton of reading this week. Okay, so that has been my self-care for today. And I hope you have done something fabulous for yourself as well. I don't care if it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 2 minutes, you polished your fingernails. I don't care if you went for a walk outside with a dog. I don't care if you went to the mall and just did some walking around there, or just window shopping. Anything that could bring a smile to your face, take your mind off the stresses of every day. We have so many things that we stress about subconsciously, needless to say, consciously. It just happens. It's a part of life. But I just wish, if you haven't, there is still time. Please go out and show yourself some love and care, okay? Because every month, every challenge, we layer something in addition on. We're going into the 7th month. Tomorrow's July 1. Tomorrow's July 1. And the challenge for July, I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now. We've shown care for ourselves this month. And so I figure we can show love and care for someone else this month. We did something similar earlier this year. It's just people you haven't talked to in a while. That's what that one was. This one's all the way different. And it's all the way different because it's about showing care and concern for someone that you know that lives alone. Someone who lives alone. We get caught up in, the motion of every day. We can do that, and we can do it easily. However, check on somebody who lives by themselves. Too many things, opt to happen with individuals that live alone. I live alone. And sometimes I can push myself too far, and which I did this month, and I had a little bit of a scare. I won't even tell you what. But when I realized what happened, I was like, seriously? And it scared me. It scared me so badly to where I had to check myself on the spot. And then I had that thought, like, what if something happens to me and nobody knows? And then I'm thinking, oh my gosh, how are they going to find me? And then I'm thinking, well, how can I fall cute? And I know that's crazy, but it crossed my mind. I just don't want people to find me any kind of way in here. I have to be decent. and in order to be found. And that's just how I think. However, in reality, things can happen at any given time. It can. We can be in perfect health. Things can happen just like that. We can overexert ourselves, working too much. My problem. I had to check myself because I have been burning it from both ends. And had to realize, like, you know what, Val? Girl, stop. Are you willing to die for what you're doing? And you know, the answer is absolutely not. So I'll say this to you, my sparrows. Take the time to check on individuals that you know. It could be your neighbors. It could be a co-worker. You know, just keep an eye on them. Check on them here and there. It's one thing with social media. I can care less about social media in this space because it's about picking up the phone and genuinely reaching out to know this person is okay. It's people that I love and care about have had scares this month. And okay now. However, one isn't. My neighbor and friend, Kevin Hawk, I posted it on Facebook. He passed away at 33, had a heart attack. And that scared me. He's my friend and he's gone. I just saw him. Now he's gone. Nobody noticed. Nobody noticed. That's horrific. For him to be found in his apartment in between his balcony and in his dining area. He has a 3-year-old kid that was in the house with him. The kid couldn't call anybody. All he knows is my dad isn't moving. That crushed my heart. It crushed my heart. And then I think about all the people that I know that live alone. Some have health conditions, some don't. But it put me in the mind to say, you know what? I have got to do something about this. I can't do it by myself. Although I will try to do it by myself, that's how I'm made up. I can't help myself. But what I will do is put out the challenge for July to reach out to people that live alone. Simply just say, hi, how are you doing? Just want to check on you, make sure everything's good over there. Especially those individuals that live alone and they're senior citizens. Do that. They're in the house all day, probably hardly ever come out. I've done it in my complex where I live. I had a neighbor, she was in her 80s. I would check on her. Rose, how are you doing today? Hey, Rose. You know, Rose has since moved away. She's gone. But I tend to know who's single or live alone in my building and in my neighboring buildings. And I haven't done as well as I could. Like, why didn't I know about Kevin? Like, even though he was 2 buildings down, even though I had just recently seen him. It happens like that. So that's my challenge for July. Check on the people who live alone. I mean, knock on doors. Pick up the phone. Look for them literally in your neighborhood. Look for them at work. If you haven't seen them, reach out. Because it only takes a moment for something terrible to happen. My heart is still very sad that my friend is gone. I never had a chance to say goodbye. And now this 3-year-old child is without a father. And I just can't help but wonder, you know, if somebody had noticed, could he have been saved? We'll never know now. And I'm not even trying to be facetious right now. But medic alert comes to mind when it comes to me. Oh my goodness, I'm so serious. Because the scare that I had was that eye-opening. it was that eye-opening. You know, so if you don't have someone to call and check on you every single day, you know, I don't have Boaz Solomon just yet. And then, you know, the ones I did have, I had to send them away. Bye-bye. However, it's to the point to where I want a roommate, or I need to have a buddy that's also single, so we can kind of check in on each other every day. But it just would be just a courtesy for someone to check on you, or for someone to check on me. I'm blessed to have a couple that lives in my building that looks out for me. I never knew they were looking out for me until one day I had been, you know, off the beaten path for several days. That's because I work from home. That's because I'm writing my book. That's because I'm building my business. That's because I'm focused and on the grind. So therefore, if I don't have to leave the house, I don't. Everything I have is here. I can deal with my clients here. I can do everything from home. Therefore, my traction, my steps, my patterns have changed since leaving corporate America. So I have these fabulous neighbors downstairs that brought to my attention that they've been looking out for me. And they were glad to see me because they hadn't seen my car move in quite a few days. So it caught me off guard, one, but it brought joy inside of my heart, two, to know that there are people looking out for me that I didn't even know. And I told them, thank you very much. I appreciate that. I just have some things going on. My life has changed in a way to where I work from home all the time. However, I give you permission. If you haven't seen me in a while, come upstairs, knock on my door. I give you permission to do that. I would actually appreciate it very much. And I've had people say to me, my parents have said, well, I don't want to call you so much, Val. Don't want to call you because I know you're busy doing things. I'm like, Mom, call me. It's okay. Daddy, seriously, call me. It's okay. I'm not so busy to where I can't talk to my parents. Never that, ever. So I say all of that to let you know that the challenge for July, starting tomorrow, is showing self-love and care to the people that you know, the people in your life, whether if it's in crossing, people that are your families or your friends, it doesn't matter. These are the people that you know for certain that lives alone. They live alone. So be sure to reach out to them. Let them know that you care, that you're checking on them. Okay? So that's all I have to say about that, my sparrows. Therefore, I say, love without conditions, always possess a positive attitude, and soar in all you do. I love you. Mean it. Smooches.